Uh, Good afternoon, good evening, guys. Um, you know, I'm on daddy duty right now. I've taken my son to his soccer practice, and I'm actually not taking a chance, of getting out of the car because, yeah, it's chilly. It's chilly. So, and while I'm sitting here, my my head is filled with a lot of thoughts, about a whole lot of things, um, particularly about love, family, relationship, marriage, friendships. That's what my heart is mostly drawn to. And as I'm sitting here, in actual fact, I was even laughing at myself because I was just having a conversation with myself, and asking myself some questions, some uncomfortable questions and some necessary questions. And I just thought maybe I should actually pose this to you because as funny as it is, it's quite a serious matter. It's quite a serious matter, and I just thought maybe I should engage with you guys on these thoughts that I'm having, just random thoughts, so we can laugh together, so we can maybe cry together as well. As I take much time, to have a conversation with myself, I ask myself this question quite more often. Do people really call themselves to order? Do they really call themselves to order? Do you call yourself to order? Do you sit down and say, thoughts, look, don't start with me right now? Do you actually have a conversation with your emotions and say, look, feelings, don't start with me. Don't start. That is not the right thought, and we are not going to dwell on that. That is not the right feeling. We are not going to dwell on that. Do you ever sit and call your flesh to order and say, hey, look, I know you want to eat. I know you want a slice of that chocolate. I know you want a slice of that cake. I know you want this and that. But hey, that is not what you need. Do we ever call ourselves to order? I'm actually asking this simply because, as you engage with people quite more often on relationship issues, you realize that, we don't call each other. We don't call ourselves to order. We don't engage our thoughts and emotions and our bodies to, just to say, hey guys, can we be of order? Because this is not what we're supposed to be. Mamba Tahai, thank you for joining me. I just thought, can we do that as people? Because I think we get derailed most of the time because we just don't have that conversation with ourselves. We don't call ourselves to order. Not when you are facing temptations, not when you are, at your lowest, or when things are tough, when things are hard, when you're emotional, when you are confused, but just when you are fine, when you're sitting and having that conversation with yourself. Do you ever say, let me call myself to order? I'm in this terrible relationship because I really cannot call myself to order. I'm sticking with this person who's ill-treating me because I really can't call myself to order. I really cannot control my emotions. I cannot control my feelings. I cannot tame my thoughts. I cannot engage with myself within. Do we ever do that? Do you ever sit and think, But I'm in this situation because I cannot call myself to order. I'm very lazy to have a conversation with myself. Do you ever take time and just chat to yourself? Thabo Monna, do you think, this is the right thought to have? Do you think this is the right emotion to have? Do you ever have that conversation with yourself? Do you ever take a walk, somewhere, on the road, or else, in the bushes, or even on the beach, Babu Feleza, thank you for connecting with me. Yes, when I'm talking about walking in the bushes, and I'm thinking of you, and while walking with your dogs, and, I just love that environment. But do we as people ever connect and say, let me rather just go out there, take a walk, or just be quiet, sit in my car, sit in my room, just disconnect from everything else and have a conversation within myself, to call myself to order. Why am I in this situation? Why am I in this relationship? Why am I in this particular condition of life which I am not happy about? Is it really always about the fact that somebody brought me into this, or it's simply because I just cannot call myself to order? How often do we have that chat? Do you ever talk to your thoughts? Do you ever talk to your emotions? Do you ever talk to your body and say, hey, look, let's not get onto that, because that is not how we have to do things. I think most of the time we just go with the flow. We are able to reject going with the flow from people outside ourselves. But when it comes to going with the flow, within ourselves, we find it quite easy to just follow. But do you ever question yourself? But why did you decide to be in this situation? Why did you choose to be with this person? Why do you choose to stay in this type of a relationship? Be it a friendship, be it any kind of ship that you might want to be in. Do you ever sit and ask yourself, but do I really need to be here? Do I really have to be in this situation? Why can't I just call myself to order and say, no, I am not going to accept this. I'm not going to tolerate this, or I'm not going to make this decision or this choice, because this is exactly what get me where I am not supposed to be. Do you ever do that? Just say, hey, with and within yourself, without somebody else. Because I think sometimes, and especially when it comes to our own lives decisions, it's like we entrust our thoughts and emotions in the hands of others. And we forget that in actual fact, they also have themselves to deal with. I'm not talking about those that they are making money out of your own confusion. They just wait for you. For those that cannot call themselves to order, they don't want to, think right, feel right, do right. They're making money out of it. They just wait for you. But trust me, most of them, they're having conversations with and within themselves. They are calling themselves to order. When you come and say, hey, me and my husband, or my wife and I, we need help in this and that. When you're gone, believe you me, we sit and say, sure, baby, we are never going to go through that. We are never going to do that. Or if we encounter that type of a situation, we are not going to actually make those type of decisions, because then they will get us into trouble. And we have that discussion amongst ourselves, and we also have that discussion with and within ourselves, silently so, and say, look, I am not, no matter how challenged, no matter how lacking, no matter how weak I am, no. I have to call myself to order. The problem is that we always want to cross the bridge when we get there. We want to try and call ourselves to order when we've already put the hand in the jar. And now you're saying, Thabo, you are not supposed to do that, while the hand is already in the jar and you're already holding the cookie. And now the only thing that is left is for you to pull it out, But can we just take some time, do away with TV, do away with social media, do away with the dramas, that we are so attached to. You watch, soapies from 6 up until you sleep at 10. And even at 10, you want to watch a movie. And then when you go to sleep, your mind does not even think about you, but it thinks about whatever that you have been feeding it before you even go to bed. Do you ever call yourself to order? Do you ever say, that is not what you're supposed to do. That is not how you're supposed to think. That is not, that feeling is not right. Yes, I know it feels good, but is it right? No. Because I believe that the battles that we're faced with, the temptations that we are faced with, are won before we even engage with them. But in our mind, there is a say or a thought, a statement that people love to use, never say never. But can I dare you? Can I actually just challenge you to say, if you are somebody who's really content with and within yourself, you can get to that point of saying, I am saying never to that. I am saying never to that thought. I'm saying never to that emotion. I'm saying never to that feeling. I'm saying never. Hey, to lemizwa. I'm saying never to lemizwa. I know, because sometimes things, they just come to you. You've got no control over the thoughts that actually drops into your mind. You have no control, but you have control over how you process those thoughts. So if you have a thought that you don't want to process, or it's not part of who you are, then you have to call yourself to order and say, no. We are more than now, we are muhle, and your thought starts, maratibos, if you can just say hello. Do you ever get to that and say, no, I will not fall for that? Hey? Or else we just go with whatever the thought that drops in our mind, most of which are actually influenced by the intake of information and all these things around ourselves, and we just follow, we just go with the flow. I'm so convinced that if we were able to be honest with ourselves, if we were able to call ourselves to order, most of the challenges that we faced with wouldn't have been there. I'm not saying when you call yourself to order, there are no issues that you might encounter. No, there are issues, but it will actually help you on how to respond or how to react to those issues. Calling flesh to order is easier than calling our emotions to order. Let me be honest with you. Our flesh is influenced by our emotions, and our emotions are influenced by our thoughts. So if we are able to call the thoughts to order, believe you me, we will be able to call our emotions to order, and we will be able to call the flesh to order. So I believe that order on its own is one that can help us to say, by the way, I know I feel this way, but is this a right thought to think? If it is not a right thought to think, then I'm not supposed to think this thought because it is influencing how I feel, and I don't like how I feel. So what do? Call yourself to order. Distract that thought. Don't just give in to it. Distract it. And sometimes I know as men, you feel like, sometimes, the flesh just wants what it wants and what it sees. But remember, if the flesh had no eyes, believe you me, the flesh wouldn't be able to want what it sees. If it had no eyes, it wouldn't want what it cannot see. But whatever we see, and we take it into our mind, and then our mind processes those thoughts, that is what makes the emotions to get to a point of a want or a need. And then when it wants or it needs, then the flesh says, poof, that's it. That is what I want. So I believe that that order on its own can help us, but we need to create a balance within that order. We need to call ourselves to order. Do we call ourselves to order? You don't always need somebody to come and tell you, Maratabo, no, Muna, you were not supposed to do that. Or you're not supposed to do that. I remember sharing something previously saying, if this is just an example. If you cheat on your person, why come and seek help after you've done it? Why don't you seek help before you do it? Why don't you do that? Hey, because at the end of the day, it is more like you actually don't know how to call yourself to order. That's why you ended up giving in to that temptation. Now, you thought about it, you meditated on the thought, you created an emotion that would say, I want, I need, and then the flesh said, hey, guys, we are in sync, we are in agreement, let's go for it. And that is how you end up falling for it. But if you are someone who calls yourself to order, believe you me, you will actually kill that thought. You will not meditate on that thought. You will not give in to that thought. Why? Because you know that it is not in line with who you are or what you want or what you believe in. But all I'm saying is, do we ever take time and just say, let me call myself to order? I'm thinking wrong, I'm feeling wrong, I find myself making wrong decisions, I find myself giving into wrong things, I find myself in situations or in positions or in relationships or in friendships which I am not happy about. So why is that? Why do I always have to find myself in that? Call yourself to order. Call yourself to order. You don't always need someone to come and call you to order. Learn to have that conversation with and within yourself. Learn to say, no, thought, that is not what is going to happen. No, I'm not going to meditate on that particular kind of a thought. I'm saying this because I realize that a lot of people are drowning, frustrated, going to depression, especially in relationships and marriages, simply because they don't call themselves to order. Sometimes you're going to have to say, look, Thabo, you got to be tired. You got to be tired of being in this particular situation. You got to be tired. No, stop giving into your emotions every time. Stop listening to your emotions every time. Call yourself to order. Control your thoughts. Dictate how your thoughts should be. Don't just entertain each and every thought that come into your mind. Don't just entertain it, and you will see the much difference that will happen in your life. You will see the better choices that you can make. But if you don't call yourself to order, trust me, situations will put you into trouble. Trust me, situations will put you into disorder because you just cannot call yourself to order. So that is just the random thought that I wanted to share with you guys, to say at some point, you gotta sit and say, I love myself enough, but let me love myself from inside. Let me not love myself from outside. Let me not try and get validation from outside. Let me not try and get discipline from outside. Let me not try and trouble people seeking help and advice every time about the same thing from outside. Let me start from within. Let me start from within. What am I doing wrong? And you realize that perhaps you're just lacking that element of calling yourself to order. I'm not saying you should not seek help if you need help. You have to if you need help. But let that help also not only about feeding the emotions, the desires, the needs, the ones, validating those wrong thoughts, because there are people who are like that. They would seek help just because they want to validate wrong thoughts or wrong emotions, wrong behavior. They just want that. No matter what you say, how you advise them, they just don't take it because they're still feeding on that need to validate those wrong thoughts, wrong feelings, wrong emotions, wrong needs, wrong wants, and you end up just wasting your time sitting and talking to them. But that is how others are making money out of you. So I'm giving you a tip. Learn to call yourself to order. It is not a once-off thing. It is a process, but learn to call yourself to order. And perhaps if you can understand the order that starts with your mind, how you process your thoughts, how it influences your emotions. I remember sharing with another lady saying, no, but this is not how it works. My emotions are not controlled by my thoughts. And I said, okay, we are in this space right now. Where is your man? No, he's at work somewhere. And I said to her, look, just think of your man kissing his colleague right now, or being with his colleague right now. Picture them in bed somewhere with colleague and tell me how you feel. Yeah, but it doesn't feel right. I said, simply because of the thought. So everything starts in the thoughts. So when you think, you feel. And when you feel, your flesh wants, your flesh needs. So we need to create that balance. Let us call ourselves to order. And again, I say, you don't always need someone to come and call you to order. You can do that. You can do that. I feel you, my good sir. We really need to have conversation to self and ask ourselves important questions. We have to. Sometimes it's better to have uncomfortable conversation with yourself. You're going to have to do that. Have that conversation with and within yourself. As you can see, it's getting darker now, and the guy is done with practice. At least I'm still warm, and I'm going to get home warmer. So thank you so much, guys, for just giving your time to me, listening to me, and I hope this has actually helped you. But we're going to connect again. I love and appreciate you. So we will connect again. See you guys. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.